You may think all the attention now shifts to the United States Senate. Not so. Back home, politicians are gearing up to clobber each other over last night's health care vote. It will get ugly. Joining us live is roll call staff writer Shira Toplitz. All right, Shira, the fight here in Washington is pretty rugged. What's going on back home for these candidates? They got to go home for the midterms.
Yeah, they got to go home. They'll go home in about a week or so to campaign and to talk to constituents in their district, and it's going to be interesting to see how constituents react to this bill. Look, you have all these candidates, mostly Democrats who voted for the bill, but some who voted against, and several Republicans, all of the Republicans who voted against the bill, and they're going to have to go home and sell their vote either way to their constituents. Usually, you get sold something before you buy it. Well, the voters have bought this, and now Republicans and Democrats are going to have to sell it each way to their constituents.
You know, it's so interesting. Congressman Stupak, who really has a bullseye on his back today from a couple different directions, he's got a challenger in the primary, and yet he got about $730,000 to his district. Does the money to the district, does that sort of trump the challenger and the unhappiness many have, or not? Who knows?
Who knows? Bart Stupak's district in northern Michigan is a very inexpensive district. A little bit of money goes a long way. And let's face it, Bart Stupak hasn't had a serious challenge for re-election in a long time, basically since his first term. So he could be up for a challenge. He certainly has a target on his back, like you just mentioned. But we'll see if there's actually going to be a good challenger that emerges.
Is there any thought? I mean, what's the likelihood the House is going to shift to a Republican majority?
Oh, I think there's still a lot to be determined. It depends mostly on how well Democrats can sell this vote to constituents and to voters. If they can really go out there and say this was a great bill and, you know, basically have a more effective message than the message they've been selling for the past 6 or 8 months, then there's a chance that maybe they won't lose as many seats. I think you talk to any political pundit in Washington, you talk to any reporter, everyone thinks Democrats will lose seats. It's just a question, is it 15, is it 25, what's it going to be?
You know, it's so interesting, Senator Blanche Lincoln, who's a Democrat down in Arkansas in a very, very tough race, she's run some ads recently where she's running away from her party. I mean, she's really squeezed in the sense that she doesn't want to embrace what her party's done. She's got to run away from, yet she's running on the Democratic ticket. So we're going to see a lot of these ads rolling out with all sorts of interesting themes.
Yeah, definitely. Very interesting ads. You'll see Washington senators, for example, Senator Michael Bennet, who was appointed to the Senate about a year ago, he's running an ad that doesn't even bring up the fact that, you know, Washington. He says, I've only been in Washington 1 year in this ad. And that's
only Washington. No, everyone's an outsider. I mean, you can grow up here and live here your whole life, and yet the minute you start running for office, you're an outsider.
Absolutely. You're not from Washington until you want to come here.
How about the Senate?
How about the Senate?
Yeah, Senator Harry Reid's got a tough race.
Yes, he's got a very tough race. And look, let's talk about Brad Ellsworth. He's a very interesting guy today because he voted for the Senate bill, for the House health care bill, and he was part of the Stupak Dozen, part of these 12 members that Stupak formed to push the Stupak Amendment through back in November. And look, now he's voted for the bill, and since he voted for the bill both in November and the bill that he voted for Sunday night, he announced he was running for Senate in an open seat race. It's going to be very competitive. So how does he sell his vote to the entire state of Indiana?
You say competitive. I think probably bloodbath would be more accurate.
And that's funny because his district is known as the Bloody Eighth, the Bloody Eighth Congressional District of Indiana, and now it's going to be a bloody statewide election contest.
Indeed. Shira, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Here's a look what's coming up after this show.